Yo, what's up guys? How are we doing? We are officially 2 days out from BodyPower. So we're going to be setting off to go to Birmingham this evening, this evening being Thursday. So I need to get everything ready. I need to check my kit bag, make sure I have everything that I need. So I'm going to take you guys through everything that I have here, all of my individual bits of kit, the different shoes I use, what I use, why I use it, and yeah, bring you along for the packing journey. So here we have it, ladies and gents. This is going to be everything that I am taking away to a one-day meet. This is what I would regard as kind of the essentials. There are potentially other things that I could take as well. Some of these things actually I'm not going to be taking because I have equivalents of them already. But this is kind of what it would usually look like. Let's talk through it all. We have the Cerberus Triple-Ply Deadlift Belt. So this is super handy, packs down quite nicely. Awesome for support and lots of my mobile events as well. So I'm going to be using this for my yoke event that I have, as well as my deadlift, probably my overhead press events, as well as probably my my loading medley too. So that's going to be a big help. Shoes wise, first ones we have are these. So these are my Adidas weightlifting shoes. So these Ironwork 3s I've had ever since I was in the Harlequins Academy, which was best part of 11 years ago. So these have served me mighty well. Those weightlifting shoes are going to be used for my overhead press event, which this competition is going to be Viking press. I probably wouldn't wear my Olympic lifting shoes for anything else. I squat in my flats and I do all of my other mobile events in these basketball shoes here. So super handy just because they have the higher ankle support. So these are like the only basketball shoes that I have that I wear. They're super comfy, give me loads of support, and yeah, help me to not completely and utterly destroy my feet and my ankles when I'm running with a 300 kilo yoke on my back. We have the Neoprene Belt. So the Neoprene Belt goes underneath the Triple-Ply belt, the deadlift belt, and that just basically stays on all day to keep my spine warm, make sure that my back is nice and warm and doesn't stiffen up too much, because there can sometimes be long waits between events and you just want to make sure that places like your back and your hips and your knees all stay nice and warm and well lubricated throughout the day, otherwise it does take its toll on your body. I have a couple of fat grips as well, so just in case I need to do any kind of like warm-up work with my forearms, anything that's going to be heavily grip orientated. Next up I have my Cerberus Ultra wrist wraps. So these are going to be used for a lot of my events, my overhead press stuff mainly, and any pressing events, that's normally where I would use them. Johnson's baby powder. A little bit weird, I know, but this is for helping sleeves get on and off easier, just because it's a slightly nicer environment when you're taking off things like these, and more importantly, my Cerberus knee sleeves. They are made of almost like a wetsuit material. It's really bizarre. So you can imagine how hard it is to get a wetsuit on and off when they're wet. So when these bad boys have got a bit of sweat on them, they really do stick to your skin, so it's quite tough to take them off. So having the baby powder, the talcum powder, can kind of just help these to get on and off a lot easier throughout the day. Talk about knee sleeves. So these are the dual ply knee sleeves from Cerberus. These are wicked. These are the first sleeves I ever had. These are the sleeves I used for my first two competitions, of which both I won. I know, yay me. We have liquid chalk. Liquid chalk is super handy in Strongman for grip orientated events where you're not allowed to use straps, as well as like any carrying, whether that be your keg loading or what I'm going to probably be using this mostly for, which is my yoke. So to have some kind of chalk just smothered across the back of your shoulders is just going to mean that the yoke stays on there a little bit easier, and it's slightly less likely to slip off of your back whilst you're running with it, which is always interesting. Next up, this is actually a product that I have never used before. This actually isn't even opened yet, but this is a grip enhancer. And what this is basically is almost like a tacky cloth where you could pat your hands on there and it takes all of the moisture out and basically just means that your grip is enhanced. So technically it's completely within the rules to be able to use those tacky cloths, but I wouldn't be able to use something like this, for example, which is a pot of tacky. If you've never seen tacky before, it's a really weird substance made from tree sap. And as you can see, it's incredibly sticky. And basically, well, you can probably see, it sticks to your fingers like crazy. So imagine that, but all up your forearms, covering your forearms and the palms of your hands. So when you make contact with the ball, you're completely stuck to it. It's really, really hard for the stone to move. So that's why we use tacky. I don't have any events that require me to use this, so I shan't be. Handy. So we have my Voodoo Floss. So this is just like kind of a thick resistance band that I can kind of wrap around joints or anywhere where I might be suffering a bit of tendonitis and do a nice bit of compression and vasorestriction work on those areas. We have ye old trusted gum shield. So I wear that when I do a lot of my max weight and max effort events because I tend to bite down quite heavily. I'm a little bit of a chewer, so having the gum shield in there just basically stops me from basically breaking any of my teeth from biting so hard. I am taking away a golf ball to work into kind of all of the small muscularities kind of through the top of my shoulders, which I do need to do today because they are tight, as well as my trigger point therapy massage roller. These massage rollers, in my opinion, are 100% the best rollers I've ever used. I have been using them ever since they started making them. They were the OGs in my opinion. I love these. I would also like to get the full-fledged giant version of one of these because I think they're brilliant for carrying around, especially for big guys like me as well. It's kind of not quite the length of my back, which would be really, really helpful. We have the Cerberus Strength Compression Cuff. So again, for any kind of like tendonitis, bad areas where I suffer a lot of pain, what I can do is kind of put that on the bottom of the bicep tendon and just kind of give it a slight bit of compression, so when I'm doing those events it doesn't inflame the joint quite so much, the tendon quite so much. My trusted neoprene elbow sleeves. So again, just keeping the elbows warm kind of throughout the whole day and making sure that the tendons don't kind of get too cold, because again, there can be a little bit of time between events. You don't want to kind of warm it up, cool it down, warm it up, cool it down. So this kind of keeps the residual heat in there, which is quite nice. We have my fantastic Axial deadlift bar straps. So they basically will wrap around my wrist and then wrap around a bar so I can hold onto the bar easier. You've probably seen these in most gyms and pretty much every single strongman video ever made because they're really, really helpful. These bad boys are the shoe for the day. So these are just my very simple, very plain black Chuck Taylor Converses. As a flat sole shoe, it's absolutely perfect for all of my squatting, probably all of my loading events as well. They're incredibly lightweight. They have a nice, flat, thick sole, so I can transfer all of my weight directly into the ground. I love them. I won't be doing my yoke in them just because the yoke is a bit too heavy, so I need a little bit more cushioning underfoot. But in terms of speed, flexibility, these are perfect for me. I will be doing my max deadlift in those just because I don't tend to max deadlift in socks all too often. But apart from that, guys, that is my entire contents of my bag I'm going to be taking away. That's all of my kit. That's just literally accessories for competing. So I'm going to be taking this kit bag and then probably another couple of rucksacks for all of my clothes, and most importantly, all of my food, because there is a hell of a lot of food coming away with me. Yeah, that's probably it from me, guys. I need to sort all of this stuff out and finalize all of my plans, and then go and train a couple of clients, because we are leaving in less than 5 hours. Send help.